Welcome back to the Conspiracy Outpost. In this episode, we'll explore the astonishing claims of Bob Lazar, the man who blew the whistle on secret government projects and fueled the modern UFO phenomenon. From his shocking revelations about Area 51 and reverse-engineered alien technology, to which he received intense scrutiny that followed. I'm your host, Casey.
I am Mike.
Nah, I'm UF Joe.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Dude, I didn't know that fucking Bob Lazar fucking blew some whistles. I thought he was just a fucking host of UFO shit.
I didn't know if UFO shit, if it's just like UAP now. UAPs, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Did they just change it?
I don't-
Or are they using both? UAP. I was trying to make a WAP and UAP joke yesterday, but I was trying to use it with an
Well,
AI
I
thing.
made a Hanson joke. What now, bitch? No.
I don't know but is it like two different unidentified aerial?
Officially, the government uses UAPs now for unidentified aerial phenomenon, but it's the same thing as unidentified flying object, but they just made it sound more fancier. I feel like
It's like, oh, we're not like you
Motherfuckers.
nutcases believing UFOs.
because
We got
anything could be
UAPs.
a UFO. If you see something flying in the sky that you don't know what it, like a frisbee, and it's from a distance, and you're like, "What the hell is that?" That's technically a UFO.
Wouldn't it be a?
If you don't
'Cause
know
you-
what it is unidentified and flying and an object.
But isn't it also aerial too? Because it's like in the air.
Well, yeah,
So,
but it's an aerial phenomenon, though. They can't explain it. Like that stuff, it could be explained if you like, oh, it was just a weather balloon. Usually, what they use.
what if somebody thinks it's a?
Technically, if you're not paying attention to Fresh Prince, then DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Oh, he's getting thrown out of the
is
house.
Yeah, he's an unidentified flying object.
Who the fuck is that?
Dude, it's always the same fucking
It
clip
is-
every single time he
It
gets
is.
thrown out.
I think they did that from the very beginning. They only use that clip. It's him in the same clothes every time. I feel like they use the same audio every time.
Yeah.
Dude, we need that as a fucking audio clip for your soundboard, Casey.
So, Mr. Lazar, he's a controversial figure in the UFO world. He's best known for his claims of working on reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology at the site called S4 near Area 51 in Miles State, Nevada. His story
Was he there when they stormed Area 51?
that would have been hella funny if he was.
It would have been, yeah.
He probably would have got
They
shot.
fucking-
Kill
they
him!
fucking hung out outside there and made a fucking mockery of it. Bitches didn't even try to do shit.
Well, they invited, they're like, don't try to rush the gates, but you guys can hang out outside of it. We'll allow it.
So much for storming it. If we would have stormed Normandy Beach that way, we would have all speaking fucking German.
I don't understand the whole fucking thing
Motherfuckers.
behind the let's storm it. It's like, dude, you guys are gonna get shot.
The whole
down.
thing was they can't stop all of us, is what it was.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking thing just to go into a fucking room and get your with the memes getting your cheeks clapped by an alien.
It's kind of like that Dave Chappelle skit that he talks about when he's on the public bus. He's like, rush him. He can't come on all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, he's bust one off on the guy. He's like, it burns. It burns. It's all ashamed of himself,
Calm down.
walking away. It's like, I wasn't even trying to whatever. I'm just like, man, can you mind not doing that? You're hitting my elbows.
It's not like I was.
I don't know if
Trying
I've
to be
seen this
brave.
shit.
It's one of his older specials.
Oh, I thought it was on Chappelle's show.
No, it was
No, it's stand
I
up.
think it was. I don't know. We were kids when
Okay.
it came out.
I'll send it to the group. I'll send you the whole stand up. It's a banger.
I remember.
Nice.
I think it was in middle school when it came out.
I do enjoy my stand-up. It's why I am now pacing while I do this podcast, because I want to feel like a stand-up comedian. No, this chair's fucking uncomfortable. My ass hurts.
Mine's starting to get uncomfortable, and then
I'm not going to tell you about the night I had, but just say, nope.
My kid
never hanging out with Joe's uncle ever again.
And I told you, he likes to party hard, and he dicks down even harder.
Oh shit!
Dude, my chair's starting to get uncomfortable. The seat's getting flat, and I blame my kids. And my kid, turned around and told me that it's because I'm fat.
Dude, you want to hear something funny? So, me and my nephew are like pretty close. We're like good friends. I fucking love that little guy.
So it's not raping if you.
No, he's 10 years younger than me, so he's like 20.
Yeah, I know.
He's
the one that
20 this year.
Wait, who's the one that we were playing?
Yeah,
is he the one we were playing the game with?
Dude. Yeah, he holds his own on jokes, dude. He's funny. But no, the jokes that he makes is, as my nephew, he makes jokes about raping me.
You gotta reverse it.
It is hilarious.
Every once in a while, you gotta.
No, like when I woke up, I was like, "How'd you sleep?" And he's like, "I slept fine." I was like, "You want to kiss?" He goes, "No." And I was like, "Oh, you didn't say that last night when I was sleepwalking." He goes, "I know, but that was last night." No, these are the jokes me and him make back. Like the same jokes I make with you, he makes towards me, and it's even funnier because I'm his uncle.
Yeah, that's why it's so funny to make the jokes about Matthew or with Matthew, because we're brothers.
Yeah,
it makes it funnier.
But it's even funnier because of all the uncle rape jokes that are on this podcast.
I mean, out of all the type of incestual family bonds, uncle and nephew seems to be the closest. You can't get any closer than that. Everything else is just unnatural and weird.
God damn. Oh shit.
So before we get into Lazar's claims of UFOs and stuff,
can we just call him Laser?
Yeah, we can.
Do you see this cage right here?
Kidding. Yeah.
There's a bearded dragon in there, and he's just watching me.
Go.
He's watching the pod.
Yeah, he is.
So
he's a big guy.
So
I think he wants some crickets.
Ooh. I hope it's not the one from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That thing's got diseases.
Dude, they ruined that guy's life.
They did. He gets worse and worse every time. I haven't seen the latest season.
Dude, I don't know if he's in it.
Yeah, I was gonna.
No, but Bob Lazar, or as I like to say, Bobby Lazars.
Bobby Lasers. I thought we were doing it on
Mr.
Bob Saget. Anytime I see the name Bob, I assume Saget's afterwards. So I have a whole thing written about his entire life.
I haven't thought about him the same since I saw this one stand-up.
I thought you were gonna say I haven't thought of him the same since he died.
since I saw this one stand-up where he made a bunch of jokes about molesting the Olsen twins.
No, he's a dirty comic. That's anybody that didn't know he was a comedian and watched.
He's America's dad. God damn it!
Before he was America's dad,
He's
and after he was America's dad, he was a dirty motherfucker.
We already lost one of America's dads, being Bill Cosby.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Why couldn't he just buy prostitutes with his Cosby money?
Right? He probably could have had them fucking stripped naked in a pool of jello.
Because he was giving them girls that splendiferous pudding pop. And he can't stop.
Dude, fuck. What was it? Oh, Bob Saget on fucking Half Baked. That scene... Me and Matthew and our friends when we were little would just we would rewind that scene or we would quote it or something, but we were always talking about it where Dave Chappelle goes to rehab and he goes there for weed and everybody's like, man, weed ain't a drug. And then Bob Saget's like, you ever suck dick for weed? Or no, I used to suck dick for cocaine or whatever. It's like, you ever suck some dick for weed? He's like, no, can't say that I have. And then the other guy's like, boo this man.
I mean, my sister and her boyfriend have pawned shit to buy weed.
No,
so
yeah, people get people say you can't get addicted to smoking weed. You can get addicted to
Oh, no,
anything, dude.
Here's the thing. People call me an alcoholic, but I don't wake up and crack a beer as soon as I wake up, other than this morning.
For shame.
Today doesn't
You know
count.
how many people do you know that smokes weed habitually, and they as soon as they wake up, they're hitting it?
It's the wake and bake.
Yeah, fucking Casey, you bitch. They fucking like stoners.
Yeah, Casey's looking
smoke.
down on us right
Smoke
now. He's
before
like,
they
I
go to
don't
work.
drink anymore,
Smoke
and he's
on
over here puffing.
Smoke before they go to work. Smoke on their breaks at work. It's like, I don't fucking drink beer at work unless they give it to me.
I was like,
but
depends on days. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, hold on. I work in construction. Sometimes the homeowner comes out and gives us a beer, and then I'll drink a beer while I'm working. But that's about it.
I made a joke recently I wasn't too proud of that I wrote down, but I'm gonna keep it anyways in a thing. It was he felt more used than a porta potty at a construction site. And I was like, that one doesn't sit too well with me.
Dude, it's just all beer shits in the morning. Everyone has
that's what I was thinking of, was just straight, and I wanted to add on fucking beer and burrito night or something. I was like, that's too long. That's not that funny.
You want to know the
I'm
worst
keeping
thing
it there
is,
because I don't know a good reference. I was writing a thing for
one of the worst thing is having the shits on a job site in the summer, having to climb down off the scaffold, walk up a hill to a porta potty just to shit your brains out and use that fucking thin ass sandpaper toilet paper when your asshole is already fucking raw as fuck because you've been shitting all goddamn day. And every time you go into this fucking porta potty, it's like 105 fucking degrees in the sun, so you're sweating your ass off as you're dying from the inside out.
Yeah, and then you leave and you got a little blue,
Been there.
You got a little porta potty blue juice splashed on your ass. You just walk around with that all day.
That fucking day, like, I was just like, because I was shitting probably every 20 minutes. I had food poisoning that day. I was staying in the Bay Area, working on a house, and I was like, I'm done. I'm fucking going and sitting in the truck because I'm not climbing up and down anymore, because every time I lift my leg, I feel like I'm going to shit my pants. You gotta lift your leg to climb, and it's like, fuck, dude. I can't do this. I'm done. Like, dude, you're lucky I'm not throwing up, because I feel like I'm gonna throw up too. I just haven't been.
They should have had you.
I left.
They should have had you.
I left there and fucking on the way home at the gas station bought some fucking Pepto-Bismol, and was just like, fuck. Went and stayed at the hotel, which also has shitty ass cheap fucking sandpaper, toilet paper. Walked across the street fucking waddling because my ass hurts over to the Target just to buy some fucking butt wipes.
I need something that's more than one ply.
I need something with some fucking moisture. I'm sitting here trying to spit on my own asshole.
You gotta lube it up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They
should have had you
Billy hand wipe. You know, you
they should have had you lay.
You hawk two on that fucking toilet paper.
They should have had you laying down bricks so you could have used your fucking beer shits to level that shit out. Like, even I don't know the term, but what when you put the little concrete in between the bricks? What's that called?
Okay, I'm not just a mason. I do very little mason work.
Yeah, but with the beer shits you could be doing all the mason work in the world.
That job, I was almost entirely just a lather because of how big the fucking job was. Dude, these people were so fucking rich. They asked me to undo my work so that the window person could come in and move the window because it didn't match their furniture.
Oh god, people.
That's how rich they were, dude. They're fucking the woman's grandparents invented barcodes.
What the fuck?
And then the husband does cybersecurity for the elections. Rich
and
rich
rigged.
as fuck.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
just playing. Dude, that's fucking crazy. I don't understand that. If I had hella money, I'm not one of those people that are hell bent on shit like that. I don't know. I'm not super materialistic like that. I would have like
Oh no, they were no. Honestly, they were wonderful people. A delight to be around. Her brother, who was running the job site, fucking asshole, but he wasn't rich. He wanted to be, and he wasn't. So I feel like he was just like,
no.
Her and her husband. Her husband was not there very often because he was just always busy. Worked extremely fucking
prostitute,
hard. Always working. Which is like, dude, I respect his work ethic, because even when he came out to the job site, he was just like, Do you need me to move anything? He like he came out there on his days off and was like, "Do you need help?" And it's like, "No, bro, dude, I see you working constantly. You're not doing manual labor, but I know that other work is fucking mentally draining. Relax, bro. You know."
A lot of mental.
No, but those two were fucking wonderful people. I loved them. They were awesome. It was just her fucking brother who was the person who was supposed to be running the job because he was a real estate developer. I fucking hated him. He was an asshole, ex-military. Fucking just prick.
Oh yeah, ex-military. They're all assholes.
Well, no, a lot. Here's the thing: is like a lot of.
We have multiple friends that are ex-military.
most. I don't understand this guy because most ex-military people that I meet are super respectful.
No, they are. I was just joking because
and are very upstanding people. This guy was just a fucking prick.
We got friends that listen to us and they're ex-military. That was just a jab.
You meet like one out of like maybe like 20 ex-military people who have the fucking roided out fucking ego.
Oh yeah,
thing,
no, we had one of those that was one of our friends, but isn't anymore. He's a douchebag. Well, he was obsessed, he was obsessed with Matthew. Like weirdly.
Well, Matthew's pretty.
He is.
And if he was like roided out Monster Man,
yeah, I mean he wasn't like roided out. He got in the P90X back when P90X was like when it first started blowing up, and he did get pretty big. Then he joined the military, came back, and was like a little more lean. But he was just he thought his shit didn't stink. He was all civilian life this, civilian life that. He was just like a douchebag about everything. He did a lot of fucked up shit. And then he left again.
Well, yeah, if a douchebag goes into the military, they come out a bigger douchebag.
He was a nerd before.
Goes into the military, they just come out as a very good person.
He was a nerd before and kind of like, I guess, dickish, and then he just went full on douchebag because he got some muscle bolt. So all of a sudden he thought he was better than everybody else. And
but back to Mr. Lazar.
If he's
sorry,
now, I hope your dick shrivels up full time. Yay, troops! Is that
you know what?
Is that the military greeting? Do they say "Yay, troops"?
Oh my god! You know what? Y'all should try pacing while doing the podcast. It's kind of nice. It helps me like talk.
Standing makes me think better. I was writing a long thing. I wrote like 10 pages on. This is all like a joke thing that I'm turning into one of my little video things. And then I realized, oh, this could have been a podcast subject because it's about a guy who encountered aliens. Claimed it.
I see now why comedians pace back and forth. Get some blood moving.
Big Jay Ogerson just. But I think it's just part of his shtick.
Dude,
he does a lot of crowd work. He's actually one of my favorite comedians.
Did you know anything about Bob Lazar before we started this podcast?
When Casey put it as a subject thing like a month ago when we were supposed to do it, and things have been a little rocky. He's been on Joe Rogan I think twice. I watched some clips from Joe
we
Rogan.
tried to get him as a guest. It's just that didn't work out.
I did like a little bit of research on him, and then I basically just watched some Joe Rogan clips.
So,
and then
my sister
learned about some stuff. Casey,
my sister right here and her fiance are actually the ones who told me to try to get Bob Lazar on here, which is probably why this subject came up. But we weren't able to get him.
Bob Quasar. That would have sounded cool.
Bobby Lazars.
Bobby Lazars.
Dude, that's gonna be my nickname for this guy from now on is Bobby Lazar.
Alrighty, so Mr. Lazar, he claims to have had background in
Bobby Lazars.
Oh. Bobby Lazars claims to have had backgrounds in physics and electronics. He's allegedly attended Caltech and MIT. Allegedly.
Dude, this is some really good schools.
People are skeptic because they found no records of his attendance at either of these schools.
Oh, he's a liar like Joe Biden. Joe Biden said he graduated at the top of his class when he was not. He was like closer to the bottom 4.
That's hella funny. He probably forgot that he was a shitty student.
I mean, I don't like.
He probably
all politicians lie, but
he probably He probably just, because the way his brain is, he probably just took like the plot from a movie and thought he was living it. Like what was that,
Dude.
Danny DeVito, and he thought he was in Rocky. Was that what it was?
Like I'm glad that he pulled out because like it was
I'm
always
always glad when
embarrassing
people
and I
pull
felt
out. We have
I
too
felt
many
bad
people
for
on
him. I felt like the people around him were not being very good friends or loved ones by making him go out there and embarrass himself day on day.
To be honest,
You know?
they really need younger politicians. Like,
Yeah.
it's this whole. It seems like elder abuse at this point.
The fact that you can say that geriatric fuck and they go, which one?
Yeah, that's what really. It's like, come on, guys. Everybody is just more focused on the party and less focused on the people and their fucking.
The only party I like has beer and drugs
That
and
is,
women.
That is true. Amen. I mean, I can't really do drugs anymore. I'm just kidding. No. I am a sucker for a good beer. I say good beer as I hold a hurricane in my hand.
As you drink a fucking. At least I'm drinking warm.
Hey,
old
it's a
Chico.
Hurricane Light. I'm kidding. I don't think they make those, but I'd feel a lot better about myself if it was. All right, yeah, Casey. Sorry, Bob. I almost said Quasar again.
Bobby Lazars.
In the 1980s, he gained some fame for converting a car to hydrogen. He installed a hydrogen fuel system on a Corvette, and he got some media attention and shit for that.
Dude, there's a car that runs on water, man.
Sorry. He also appeared in local news section about his hydrogen car. He had a little bit of legal troubles in the 1990s when he was arrested for aiding and abetting a prostitution ring. He pled guilty and was ordered to community service and undergo psychotherapy.
How much did he aid and abet? Was this man a fucking pimp? Was Bobby Lazars a pimp?
I didn't get. These are just like quick little tidbits about his pre-life before his work at Escort.
How much did he aid and abet? Was he an accountant for the pimps?
Enough to just get community service, so probably not.
You could plead down on that shit. It depends on who your bottom bitch is and how much they're willing to lie for you. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
He had some connections. So, another well-known UFO researcher and conspiracy theorist was John Lear. Lear's father was Bill Lear, who is the founder of Learjet Corporation, and this friendship helped Lazar connect with the UFO community and brought his story to a wider audience. So he had a little inside connection.
That's interesting. I've done some work for some people that worked on prototype planes at Beale Air Force Base. They couldn't tell me about the stuff they were working on at the time because it was, confidential. They had told me about stuff that had recently gotten declassified, like certain stealth planes and shit like that. And dude, the stuff that our military works on is fucking wild. Like Beale Air Force Base, pretty sure does a lot of fucking test equipment shit.
We need more information. Who are your sources? I want them named.
I'd be 100% down exploring any Gundam-like type shit they're doing. I would love to see a mobile suit.
I'm just waiting for a Metal Gear,
by the way,
like the Shagohod or something.
Because before we started, Mike, you were talking about Attack on Titans, and essentially, really, all it is like a flesh Gundam. Like they're using like flesh mobile suits. Like fucking giant robots, but they're actually made
compared to me, who's using a flashlight.
I'm sure, like if I was Aaron, I'd go fucking crazy. It's like, all right, I need to get inside the armor Titan's head. I need to psych him out, and then you just go crazy, rip your fucking arm off, and grab it, and just fucking fuck it.
So, spoiler warning for those who are not finished Attack on Titan.
Aaron fucks his arm like a flesh blade.
Skip ahead about a minute or two. So, dude. The funniest thing in that one is you fucking rooting for this fucking kid the whole time. But early on, you go, this kid kind of seems a bit genocidal.
Yeah.
He's very genocidal. And then you go, oh, yep, looks like I was rooting for Hitler.
I stood by him the entire time. His people were fucking whatever. So he was like, all right, fuck everybody
Hitler.
else.
He's Hitler.
Yeah.
He's Hitler with a better end goal. Like
I think he wanted to be stopped, but he couldn't stop himself.
Dude, here's the thing though. He fucking wiped out 80% of the population.
Hell yeah. You know what that is? That's
Fucking
negating
idiot.
climate change right there.
Also, when they show the map in Attack on Titan, did you notice that it's the main continent is Africa and the island they live on is Madagascar?
Oh, is that what it is? See, I didn't know that whatever.
Yeah,
I just thought it was cool when they introduced the black character and they were fucking amazed by his skin tone. All right, sorry, Casey.
You're good. You're good. So Lazar's most famous claims emerged in 1989 when he gave an interview to investigative reporter George Knapp on Las Vegas TV station KLAS using the synonym as Dennis originally. He alleged that he had been hired to work on a highly classified project at S4, a facility near the better-known Area 51. According to Lazar, S4 housed 9 alien spacecraft, and his job was to reverse engineer their propulsion system, which was powered by an element he referred to as Element 115. And it's called something else now, but I
Moscovium?
forgot.
Is that where?
It's
Hold on. Is
Yeah.
that where zombies got the 115 shit?
Say it again?
Is that where Nazi zombies got the 115 shit?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if that's how
wonder.
you pronounce Moscovium. Moscovium. I don't know. I don't know how you would pronounce that, but apparently its symbol is
I know.
MC, and I'm really down with that. Big hip hop fan.
It's Moscovian.
Moscovium. That's how you say it.
Moscovian.
Okay.
Like most deaf.
Most Def. Yeah. He doesn't even go by Most Def anymore.
What does he go as?
Oh, fuck. I forget.
Most definitely not.
Yasin Bey is what he goes by now.
Oh shit! I've heard of him.
Yeah, he changed. Wait, I think that's what he's going by now.
Okay, but you were saying, Casey?
Some of the alien technology that he allegedly worked on was some gravity propulsion. He claimed that a spacecraft that used gravity waves for propulsion. God, I can't talk. Allowing them to manipulate space and time for an instantaneous travel.
Where the fuck is my hoverboard then?
Right, like the real ones, like in Back to the Future.
Back to the Future told me I'd have it by now.
Right, and when they came out with hoverboards, I saw that shit that they came out with. I was like, oh, that's lame. I was like, that's not what I wanted. I thought we were gonna be floating
Also,
around.
where the fuck is my dehydrated pizza that I could make in 30 seconds?
I want to know where my
Yeah, I'm
Nikes
sure that's
that
a
fucking
MRE.
tie themselves are. Wasn't that from Back to the Future? He put on the shoes.
What?
He put on the shoes and they tied themselves.
Oh, self-lacing,
Yeah, the self-lacing ones.
or auto lacing.
I feel like they've already done
Yeah.
it though. So I mean, I might be.
They have. They actually did it on a replica shoe of that Nike.
Oh shit! I straight lace mine and then tie them behind the tongue. Anyways, I don't actually tie them ever.
I used to tie it behind the tongue also, but then
That's what I
I
do.
stopped doing that.
I just slide them right in. I actually need fucking work shoes that I can use. I've seen some cool ones at Walmart.
I just need new shoes, period. My shit's fucked up. I've done glued it so many times right now.
Yeah, my shit's tearing from the top. I got a little. Well, as Casey already knows, I don't know if I brought it up in the podcast group, but I got fucked over on my leave. Like, royally fucked over. They gave me like 1/3 of my pay for 2 weeks, which isn't enough to fucking
Okay.
sustain my lifestyle. I don't know how you say that. But I had a couple of dollars and I got some beer and some Crunch donuts for my kids.
Crunch donuts.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of pastries, so I don't like any of them.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of pastries either.
Yeah,
But I heard that Bob Lazar is.
oh, he just like you thought because he didn't like glazed donuts. He liked glazing prostitutes in these rings.
He was actually eating a pastry when he stated that the craft's reactor was powered by a stable isotope of element 115, which can generate a gravity wave that can provide nearly unlimited source of energy. And at the time of his claims, element 115 had not yet been discovered. It was only synthesized in 2003 and found to be highly unstable.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, he said it existed in the 80s, and they said it never existed, but they synthesized it in 2003, but who's to say that they didn't actually already have a...
But here's the thing. How many elements are on the periodic table? Is there 114? Did you just call it 115 because it would have been the next element, and then when another element got made in the same place, even though it's not the same thing, it was just called 115 because it was just the next one?
There's 118 known chemical elements.
At that point, was there only 114 though? So was it just the next one? So was he thinking was saying it was the next one, to where the next 115 is called? There was
106 in the 80s.
Okay, yeah. So don't know what point in the 80s, but when he found this, he could have just called it 115 because it would have been the next element.
Wait, you said there was
the next element actually?
You said there was 106 in the 80s.
Yeah.
So was there 9 that they weren't telling anybody at the time?
But counting you see my reasoning here is the 115 element, the 115 element might not be the same element. It just might be the next one that was discovered. You see what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, but he jumped up a couple numbers, so...
Well, that could have been early 80s. They could have found 9 during the 80s. By the time he fucking made his theory.
Now they were too busy getting fucking contracting AIDS and shit.
He also said
there's another element, the AIDS element. No.
I'll be right back.
He also said the craft allegedly had 3 anti-gravity generators, enable it to maneuver in any ways that defy conventional physics. He also described 9 different spacecraft stored at S4, each with unique design. His primary focus was on one specific craft, which he called the sports model. This craft was a saucer-shaped vehicle with a sleek metallic surface. It also included anti-gravity propulsion. It had gravity amplifiers. It had navigation, so the craft had no traditional flight controls. Instead, it was controlled by the manipulation of gravity waves, allowing for instantaneous changes in direction and speed. He described seeing inside the craft nothing that noting that it had very minimalistic design with small seats, suggesting that it was not designed for human pilots.
Interesting. I've seen Star Wars too.
his one of his main claims besides the ships was obviously element 115, and he said that was the fuel source. So he claimed that this element was not part of the periodic table at the time of his claim, and when he was bombarded with questions about it, he said that element 115 would produce a powerful anti-gravity field and a massive amount of energy. I don't
think we found anything like that yet.
So when element 115 was synthesized in 2003, it was highly unstable with a half-life of milliseconds. Its instability contrasts with Lazar's description of a stable isotope of 115 used for propulsion.
These 115 elements could be completely different things that they're talking about, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going off of.
I'm a fucking idiot, and I was able to think that far ahead, like that. I'm not winning no fucking Nobel Prize is what I'm saying, and I can think this much. So, like, honestly, this should have been, like, discredited long ago, his fucking 115 thing. And then the
Yeah.
fact that the 115 exists, like, come on, think a little bit farther than your fucking nose. I have a pretty big honker, but at least I still think further than my fucking nose. Be right back.
Alrighty. I was just telling Mike a little bit about element 115. It was the source of the power. It was the source of the craft's power, and according to him, if you bombarded it with protons, element 115 would produce a powerful anti-gravity field and a massive amount of energy. At the time, it wasn't synthesized, but in 2003, when they did do it, they said that it had a half-life of milliseconds, and an instability was an instability contrasts with Lazar's description of the stable isotope of element 115 used for propulsion. And he explained that the element was used in the reactor to produce gravity that would be amplified and directed for propulsion. He described the process involving a spear-like device where the element would undergo a reaction, generating gravity waves necessary for the craft's propulsion.
Excellent.
Hey, once Mike gets back, we'll get into some of the skepticism that he has faced due to these elements and claims.
I was writing for one of those fucking little video things that I was doing, and yeah, like I was saying, I was like, damn, this would have been a funny topic on the podcast, actually. It was this guy named Antonio Villas Boas, a Brazilian farmer who claimed he he was abducted by aliens, and they had him fuck one of them.
Nice. There's this one alien story. We should just have like a segment where we talk about like quick little stories, but about aliens. But there was this one. He saw some aliens outside their spacecraft barbecuing, and he said they looked strangely Italian, and they were barbecuing pancakes on a grill or some sort.
Didn't we talk about that in the first episode too? Or no?
I think so. And
it'd be nice to revisit.
He went and he took some of the pancake and got it tested, and they came back with results that said that everything was like a normal pancake except it lacked salt.
Damn. This guy claimed he was brought on the ship, and they did a blood sample from his chin. They gassed him, and then this alien like woman came out with platinum blonde hair and blue cat eyes with red pubes and armpit hair. And they fucked, and she was like very robotic about it. He was like fucking super attracted to her, like magnetized to her, and she fucking he felt like used, like a fucking he said like a good stallion or some shit like that. Like he was mad and he felt like gross and all this shit. And then he said the aliens took like she pointed at her stomach and pointed at the stars, saying, "Oh, that she's going to take care of the baby in space. Like this was a reproductive thing." And then the aliens walked him and gave him throughout the ship, gave him a fucking tour of the ship. And then he tried to steal some kind of clock or something. They got mad and they kicked him off the ship and they took off. He got Willy Wonka and he tried to steal. You stole! Like, whatever. Good day. You get nothing. Good day, sir. They kicked him off on his family's fucking farm in Brazil. The guy later became a fucking a lawyer. It wasn't some like what it was like a very. They were like a moderately like wealthy family. They own like farms and shit. They did like the labor and all that stuff. Yeah, it wasn't like he was some like poor farm boy. or something. But he ended up becoming a lawyer too, and had a wife and 4 kids, and he swore by it till the day he died in like 1991 that no, he was abducted, fucked this alien, got a tour of the ship, and then got dropped off, and everything was good. Well, but yeah. Anyways, I was bringing it up because you were saying they whatever about the pancake thing. He started getting lesions and everything. I was just thinking about like afterwards, so the motherfucker got like a space STD or something. Apparently, doctors said that he had the lesions were due to fucking radiation, like sickness shit. Like he was somewhere where it was like radiated or some stuff. But a lot of his stories or whatever, there's skeptics and everything about it. About there's a lot of skepticism surrounding the whole fucking thing because a lot of his shit kind of aligns with a lot of old school sci-fi like novels during the time and other shit. Basically, it's like he was stealing shit from books. They think he was hallucinating or something. If it wasn't aliens, I want to know. I don't know if it was. It said a doctor said he had radiation, like poisoning or some shit like that. I want to know where he was at plowing in the middle of the night, like his family's fucking fields. Like where did he find radiation? Why was he hallucinating? The fuck was out there? Swamp Thing? That Swamp Thing isn't whatever. Nuclear Man? I don't know.
That's hella funny.
Yeah, it's just weird because if he did get radiation, like fucking some kind of radiation, like sickness, poisoning, whatever the fuck, and his stories seem to copy like old sci-fi novels and shit. It's like, what the fuck happened to him then if it wasn't aliens? I'm not saying I believe the alien part. I'm just curious where he went that was radiated in Brazil. Where was it at? Sao Francisco, Brazil? Something like that?
Are you talking about Bob Lazar?
No, I was talking
No.
about Antonio Villas Boas, a guy who claimed, I think it was in the 1950s. I could be wrong about that year. He claimed to have been abducted by aliens and then had sex with one of them. And she basically told him,
Nice.
yeah, she basically told him that they came there to the fuck, and she was gonna raise a kid in the stars. Basically, she pointed to her stomach and pointed up. He just assumed,
Interesting.
oh yeah, I don't have to raise this kid.
Nice.
Yeah, in 1957, he said he was abducted. He was like in his early 20s when he claimed it happened.
Dropping load.
But the dude,
Sounds like a fucking wet dream.
yeah, but apparently he had like these lesions. He was nauseous, everything else. He died.
I heard a lot of what you said. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just didn't hear the beginning, so I was just like, "What the fuck are you talking?"
yeah,
about?
he was abducted. They got apparently they took blood samples from his chin with a suction cup like fucking device. Then they moved him to another room where the walls sprayed gas at him. He got Bill Cosby, and
Oh shit!
and then they waited for a little bit, kind of like when you're at the dentist and they wait for you to numb up, and then they brought her in butt ass naked. She had platinum blonde hair, blue cat like eyes, and red pubic hair and armpit hair. And I just want to know, like, why is the pubic hair and the hair on the head so different? And so they had sex, and he said he felt used, and then yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah, that's why I think he was a 60-second man there. He was like, oh, it made it seem like he was weirdly magnetized to her. He made it seem like the gases made him like super aroused by like the next person he's seen or some shit.
Just endorphins.
Yeah, and so yeah, I think he said he felt sick after the gases hit him. Like he felt nauseous. And then he fucked, and then he was just mad afterwards and disgusted with himself and all this stuff. I
felt the same way after your mom.
Yeah. But the fact that he said felt like a used stallion or a good stallion. I'm more than just a good stallion. Like he was like upset. I'm more than just good dick, you know. come back here. Hey, and they're all grabbing it. Hey, come back. There's so much to talk about. Why is your hair different color than your pubes? But no, like to get a tour on the ship and then try to steal like a clock or something and then get fucking kicked off is hilarious. But yeah, he was a fucking lawyer, had 4 children, swore up and down that was him. Swore up and down that fucking the story was true, no matter how many fucking skeptics and shit said BS. Oh, Sao Francisco de Sales or Salas, I don't know. Brazil. That was the location. Yeah. Fucking lawyer and everything else. He died at 56 in 1991. Also looks weirdly white for someone from Brazil. I don't know. That's worth noting. Sorry. We're going to get back into it all. That was just a fun little alien story. I wrote about 10 pages about yesterday. Mainly with jokes and stuff. It was for one of my little skit things. And when I wrote it, I was like, fuck, this would have been a good topic on the podcast. Apparently, it happened before the... they bring that up a lot, too. I think it was before the Betty and Barney Hill abductions or some shit like that. Or around. Which is going to be a topic on here. But they kept bringing up those 2 names. And I was like, who now? Because I changed the thing on our thing to Betty and Barney Rubble. Which I think Casey redid anyways.
I am getting very tired.
Alright, well, let's continue on. Sorry for my sexual alien escapades.
So let's finish this Bob Lazar bullshit.
Some of the conspiracies that spawned because of his claims have been... One of them was they erased his records, and he alleges that they erased all his official records of employment and education to discredit him, including his attendance at Caltech and MIT and his work at Los Alamos National Laboratory.
Is it Los Alamos or Los Alamos?
I don't know. Yeah, that sounds better, Alamos. He also claims that he and his family were subjected to threats and intimidation after he went public with the story. This included phone taps, surveillance, and even attempts on his life.
So the fact that I wasn't watching this in real time is a big problem for me because honestly, when I hear this, I'm like, oh wow, isn't that fucking convenient? And like for a lot of like older fucking conspiracies, it is like that for me. It's like, oh, isn't that convenient? But it's like newer conspiracies for me are easier to get a hold of because a lot of them I've seen what had happened beforehand, so it's easy to prove them wrong or right, depending on what happened because I had seen beforehand before it became sensationalized, you know. But like him, like, oh, they deleted my records of when I went to these 2 prestigious schools. Why would you go to both of them? You probably only need to go to one.
He did half at one school, half at the other. I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems like he was like, oh, how to pad my resume? How about the two of the biggest fucking tech schools ever?
I did them both. That's how good I am.
It's like if a fucking like politician went to like, I went to both Harvard and Yale. Why?
Because I'm that smart and that prestigious and that privileged. I have.
You only needed one. You only needed one.
Like, yeah, but I'm that privileged and I have the money, so I went to both.
But with Bob Lazar, it's like, oh, he went to Stanford and MIT, right?
Yeah. No, Caltech and MIT.
Caltech and MIT. It's like, oh, 2 of the biggest fucking science schools there are. Huh. Why'd you go to both? You only really needed to do one unless you had to fucking move for some reason. But no, you just said that you went to both. I don't know. It's just like, it seems like someone padding a resume to me.
Do you think Caltech's...
but continue.
Having Caltech on your resume kind of boosted after Big Bang Theory? Because people were like, oh, I love that show.
I mean, fucking, they boost up both MIT and Caltech in that, but yeah.
Oh, do they? I didn't even know.
Howard went to MIT.
Oh. Didn't he go to Caltech?
And then I guess he did work at...
He worked at Caltech.
He did.
That's right.
He worked at Caltech, but he went to MIT.
That's right. They all work there. They're not attending classes. I forget that.
Well, Sheldon went to Caltech.
Yeah, but I mean, during the run of the show, they're working there, not students.
Oh yeah. They are employed by Caltech.
Yeah. And then Sheldon gives Howard shit because he went to MIT.
Yeah.
Even though they all work at the same fucking place.
Like that makes sense to me because he was hired. He's not going to college there. He was
Yeah,
hired.
they were
to work
hired there. I forget because it didn't click in my head
like-
until I thought of when Sheldon started teaching a class at Caltech.
Yeah, because he had to.
Yeah. And nobody was showing up, right? Some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I enjoyed the show. I didn't like it at first. When it first came out.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
I also liked Young Sheldon. Last episodes of Young Sheldon
only
made
because
me
you
very
jerk
sad.
off to
Made
it.
me
You
think about my own. yeah. No, it made me really sad because it made me think of my own dad dying, and I was like, "Oh, this is sad." But to continue with Bob Lazar's,
who is still alive.
So, yeah, he's still alive. I think he's like 68 or 9 or something.
I was
like
gonna
that.
say who's dead. I was like, no wait, he's alive. I'm thinking of the Antonio Villas Boas guy again.
He is. Give me one sec. 65. Sorry, I was wrong. So some theorists claim that element 115 was swept under the rug because it's a powerful energy source and it would create free technology, like free energy for everybody, and major corporations wanted to prevent that from happening. You know.
I mean, that is believable because look what happened to fucking Nikola Tesla.
Oh
Yeah.
I mean, he fucking pioneered alternating current and wireless fucking energy. So, but you can't sell wireless energy. You can sell wired energy with direct current.
It doesn't fit with our. Doesn't fit with consumerism. Consume, buy.
Consumerism. Consume.
Consume. Get it. Take it. Consume it.
What was that off of Futurama, I think?
It's our God-given American right as a capitalist. I don't know.
People believe that there was disinformation campaigns for a UFO cover-up. Lazar's story might be itself part of a broader disinformation campaign by the government by mixing truth with fiction. They
I
could
can believe
discredit
that.
genuine whistleblowers and confuse the public about the reality of UFOs and ET technology.
That would make sense to me because Bob Lazar is like one of the biggest fucking dudes out there, you know? So it's like if he it would make sense that he would possibly be part of the system.
Yeah, and Lazar's claims are often linked with other famous UFOs incidents that we've talked about, such as Roswell.
Was there anybody else that come forward from what was it, S4? What was it called again?
S4?
Yeah.
Not that I know of. But, not a lot of whistleblowers are out there. There's a few of them,
I think
but
there'd be more.
Not a lot left alive.
I wonder, do we have the Rendlesham Forest incident on our list? I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar.
But that one is, I believe it's this one. I could be wrong. So, because I've listened to another podcast that have actually talked about it, but I could be wrong about the incident. I might be mixing it up. But there was some military people in the forest, and there was a UFO. There was like some bright lights. They were trying to get close to it or whatever. But then the official report came out as they were just headlights from a truck or something. And it's like, you think all these military people would recognize headlights on a vehicle?
You'd think.
I mean, maybe, but you also got to remember they're just human, and a lot of humans are idiots.
Joe over here speaking truths.
There's a mind control and memory manipulation.
Neuralizers.
Yeah, some theories
is it like
speculate that.
Sorry, I just want to say, is it like the Umbrella Academy where it's like, hey, I got a memory re-jogger thingy here in the basement. Just coincidentally, let's go give it a view, and all it is a bunch of flashing lights.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
god, that whole scene was fucking ridiculous. Sorry, Casey. It's just I hated that scene so much. Hey, you want to know what happened? I just so happen to have something in the base, something around here. It's like, oh wait, it's my fucking basement. It's like what the fuck, or wherever the fuck it was. Was it in the basement? That shit pissed me
I
off.
don't remember.
I seem to have it somewhere around here. It's like, oh yeah, it's like a big ass fucking part of your house. There's a bunch of fucking
Oh
lights.
yeah.
It's like the fucking what was it? The Death Star thing. Oh, we have the Death Star here. We coincidentally have another one over here. Is that what it is? No, wait. No, it's not the Death
I
Star.
don't know.
I think it's something else. It was some fucking movie where they had some, they destroyed it. Oh, we coincidentally were secretly building another one over here. It's like, oh yeah,
Oh, that's the Death Star.
yeah. Oh, it's just a lazy way of fucking storytelling. It's like, oh yeah, no. We still have another one. It's over here. We didn't discuss it the entire time. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Anyways, continue.
Was in Star Wars that would make sense, by the way, because I mean, if you're gonna build one mega weapon, why not build two?
Yeah, that's
Once
true.
you figure out that prototype weapon works, why not make another one?
Something as large as
That's
a
what-
star and nobody knew it was happening. I mean, maybe. None of that rant actually had anything to do with any of this. I was just, I don't think it did. I was just thinking about that when you said the thing. I was thinking about that fucking brain
Yeah.
machine from Umbrella Academy. That shit was.
Yeah. How did Ben die?
It's like, oh well, we coincidentally have a machine that'll actually help with that. And I don't know where it's at.
At least in Deadpool, when they have a MacGuffin, they fucking call it a MacGuffin.
I haven't watched the new Deadpool yet.
Oh, in the new Deadpool, there's a thing where like there's a machine that's supposed to do something, and Deadpool goes, "What in the MacGuffin is that?"
Damn. All right.
Like, yeah, I love Deadpool. The new Deadpool's so good.
That's what I keep hearing. I haven't got to watch it yet.
So good. Dude, maybe we can meet up in Chica and go see it together.
I would, but I'm broke.
Wow.
Wesley was trying to watch it with me too, but I'm too broke to go anywhere. All right, let's go.
So, some conspiracists claim that Lazar's memory of his time at S4 might have been tampered with through mind control or psychological manipulation. They state that the government used advanced techniques to implant false memories or erase certain details, ensuring that Lazar only remembers what they want him to. They claim that Lazar might be an unwitting pawn in a larger disinformation campaign. Also, on the same kind of note, there's a theory that Lazar's memory could have been partially wiped or altered to make it difficult for him to recall specific details about his work at S4, and that would explain why he has some inconsistency in his stories over the year.
Or he's a liar.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with lies. They don't always involve brain fucking manipulation.
This is kind of on the...
Or that he's
Kinda on
also
the same
65, right? I mean, his memory probably isn't that good. I forget details of stories all the time.
But you also didn't attend Caltech or MIT, so, I mean...
Fuck you.
Explain.
I also have an on and off drinking things.
So there's two like disinformation agent conspiracies. There's one that Lazar might have been intentionally fed false information as part of a disinformation campaign, and the government might have allowed Lazar to see some truths mixed with fabrication, knowing that he would go public with the entire story. That way he can be discredited. That way they can muddy the waters around the UFO and alien technology projects by associating him with him to discredit his claims. And then there's another one. he might have been used as an unwitting disinformation agent. He could have been led to believe the authenticity of what he saw, only for the information to be deliberately mixed with truth and lies to confuse and divert the public attention from more crucial or sensitive projects, or critical or sensitive projects, not crucial. I guess it could be crucial too, but the word's critical that I wrote.
Yeah.
There's another theory about black projects. This theory argues that the technology Lazar worked on was an extraterrestrial rather than advanced human-made project developed in secret by the U.S. government, and the government might have been ahead decades in terms of technological development, and Lazar's work was classified highly advanced human technology that they disguised as aliens to create a cover story. There's another one, human-alien hybrid technology, and this one suggests that the technology encountered was a hybrid of human and alien engineering. The government had recovered alien technology, perhaps from the Roswell incident, and reverse engineered it, integrating it with human advancements as well. This one, these ones are kind of funny. Time travel or parallel universe stuff. This theory involves the idea that he was working on technology related to time travel rather than just anti-gravity propulsion. Some theorists believe that the government is secretly developing a time travel capabilities, and that the craft that Lazar was working on might have had the ability to manipulate time and space.
Yeah, they're trying to do a what was that short-lived show that was actually pretty good that got canceled? It was like Terra Nova. They fucking used that
Oh, that's a
portal.
great show.
Yeah, and they got canceled, which was stupid as fuck. Yeah, make a portal to go back in time because we're fucking everything up in an alternate little fucking timeline or whatever.
Yeah, they ruined Earth, so they went to a different timeline to live, like,
to get ready to ruin that one too.
Hey, as long as you keep going to different ones, it don't matter.
Yeah, at that point,
you just have to fight off. You just have to fight off rogue people and
why did
dinosaurs.
they specifically? Could they not choose the timeline? That was just where it was set.
What? No, they went to a point in time where they knew they wouldn't affect the timeline because of like the asteroid or whatever. So that's what it was. They could only travel back. They couldn't travel forward.
Yeah, I remember that.
They went to a part
because
but they were on a different. They were on a different, entirely different timeline too. That like they weren't on the same, like their Earth that they were on. Like originally, it wasn't the same timeline when they went back in time. They were in a different parallel time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's.
I just thought it
the
was
show
weird
was pretty dope, man. And they ended it off on a fucking cliffhanger.
Especially
Well, yeah.
if it's right before like asteroids hit and shit. Why there? Or do you think they could? They
went to a different. They went through a different timeline that wouldn't affect the current timeline that they had on the original Earth. Like we call it Earth 1. They were like on Earth 2.
But they know eventually the certain disasters that'll hit afterwards, or are they going to be prepared for that?
Well, I don't know, Joseph. It got canceled.
I don't know, dude. It had its 6 episodes. I have no idea how many episodes it was. I can't remember.
I think it was like 10 or 12.
I can't remember. I just knew it had that one dude in it that they always have in all these things as the fucking... I don't know the actor's name. He was in fucking...
The gruff military guy?
Yeah, the gruff military dude. He plays the same character.
Oh,
he was in
everything.
The one he was in Avatar?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He was in Avatar. He's also in Into the Badlands. He was in a wheelchair, and he was still a tough military badass. He's still fucking... because he had...
When you got a scar on your face like that, you gotta play a badass.
That was a good ass show. They need to remake that. Everybody's too old.
Dude, do you know how many times I go on the internet occasionally and I go look it up. I'm like, are they gonna reboot this show? Like, what are we doing? And there's hella threads that people wanted to come back on. Like, they're like, oh, I don't know why they canceled it. They should make a new one.
Yeah, I do that with
better. Netflix was supposed to pick it up, but they never did.
I do that with Louder Milk, which is a really good show and funny. And then
I've watched like 2 or 3 seasons of that. I haven't watched the final one yet.
It ends abruptly. It sucks. I mean, it doesn't end abruptly, but it's like you know that there's supposed to be more. Like Misfits, I thought they just ended it like that, and it turns out that they were gonna pick it back up, and it got canceled. But they ended it at a point where it seemed like they did it on purpose. So that's okay. That's one of the shows I look to see if anybody's trying to remake it still, and all you get is old fucking articles from hella years ago saying it's getting that it's getting remade, and it's like it didn't. They wanted to do it, or I wanted them to pick it up, and then I just keep seeing the remake thing, which would be fine too if they could make it funny. But they were supposed to do it on fucking ABC Family or whatever the fuck the channel is back in the day. It's like that's not gonna be funny. You can't do the shit they did in yeah, you can't do that shit in Misfits on an American fucking family fucking Disney related.
Yeah, it needs to be like on like FX or AMC or
Yeah,
something.
no, it would have to be one of those things or
HBO.
a straight like original streaming series, preferably Prime because they seem to have the grittiest shit.
Kind of, yeah.
I just
There's some pretty gritty shit
I
on.
don't trust Netflix original shows because they fucking
They cancel them all the time.
yeah. And from what I read, they do what is it? They do contracts of 3 seasons, and a lot of shows get canceled before or like that or after 3 seasons because it's such a bitch to fucking do another contract. Like they seem like assholes to work with. When it comes to series, their stand-up shit is on point. At least I think so.
But back to Bobby Lazar's.
Oh yeah.
So another theory was that the craft that he saw at S4 originated from a parallel universe or an alternate dimension rather than another planet. And this theory involves quantum physics and speculative cosmology. So, I mean, those ones are a little thin for me, the timeline and stuff. He also claims that he's still under government surveillance even after decades going public. They believe that the government continues to monitor him closely, fearing that he might reveal more information or connect with others who have similar knowledge.
What other knowledge would he be holding back? Like the schematics to fucking do shit?
Maybe on a schematic, or maybe like if you get other people who worked on the same sites, validate his claims.
Mm.
But he claims he's subjected to electronic harassment, such as unexplained interference with electronic devices, in a way to intimidate him from preventing further disclosures. Some theories suggest that the media has been ignoring or ridiculing Lazar's story to prevent it from gaining mainstream credibility. This would involve influence from the government agencies to control the narrative and ensure that such stories are kept within the realm of conspiracy theories rather than serious journalism.
That makes sense.
They do, even with the public, they make Lazar seem unreliable or untrustworthy so that the government can dissuade the public from believing similar accounts from other individuals who may have came forward.
You know how mad you would be if he is like lying and it's like this guy's just like making up a bunch of shit and it's like, what the fuck, dude? We had him working on like this or that there. It's like, the fuck is he talking about? Like just hella mad. It's like, we're not hiding anything. That's exactly what you'd want us to think. It's like, what the fuck?
Some conspiracists have suggested that Lazar may have been abducted by aliens at some point, and this experience either triggered his involvement in the S4 project or is part of the reason he was selected for it. There's also a theory that says that they collabed with aliens. This is part of a larger scheme involving direct collaborations between aliens and the U.S. government. According to this theory, the government is working with extraterrestrials on joint projects, and Lazar's work at S4 was a small piece of this broader secretive collaboration. And another thing is banking and financial attacks. There are claims that Lazar has been targeted through financial means, such as having bank accounts frozen or experience unexplained financial troubles. This is seen as a tactic to pressure him into silence or discredit him.
Yeah, but again, it's just his word against others. So
yeah, and then so more things of discreditation. I don't know if that's a word, but to discredit him.
Great minds.
His trouble that he got with the brothel for aiding and abetting. Some believe that his legal troubles were orchestrated to further discredit him and tarnish his reputation as a way to make people not believe him.
Oh, wow. Of course.
I don't think he states that. I think that's just a theory that people have.
Other people.
Yeah. Some people skeptics believe that Lazar's story was motivated by financial gain, pointing to his involvement in the production of documentaries, interviews, and business selling scientific equipment. But the people who support him argue that the personal and financial risk he took to come forward far outweigh the potential benefits that he received.
I really thought you were going to say with the production of Cats or some fucking musical or something.
Oh my God.
Had nothing to do with aliens. I don't know why. I was expecting that to come.
And in more recent years, Lazar has mentioned that he's had health issues, and this has led to speculation that it could be a result from the dangerous exposure of the materials at S4, such as
it's the danger
Element 15.
It's the danger exposure, not the fact that he's old as fuck now.
He's only 65. That's young these days.
Still old enough to have health issues.
But they suggest that the health problems might have been intentionally inflicted as part of an effort to weaken or silence him.
Oh my God. He's 65. Come on. Maybe if he was 30, then I'd be like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it's like, the government could just easily assassinate him.
Yeah, they don't need to fucking be coy about this. They could just fucking poison him or have him shoot himself in the back of the head a couple times. You know?
Oh, he shot himself twice in the head with a pistol and a shotgun. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been done before. The
Clintons do it all the time.
Yeah, I'm not understanding this. What they're having a hard time believing about this.
Have you guys heard of Pizzagate? We'll go on our Patreon, uncut. It's on there.
Shut up. Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. It's not on there yet. Some of the skeptics around, they got some clap back for him. As his educational background, investigations have been made, and there's no records of him attending the schools, as we talked about earlier. His employment records at Los Alamos National Laboratory, where he claimed to work before being recruited for S4, is also disputed. And but there's never been any concrete evidence of him going to school or working at this lab. People have pointed out inconsistencies with Lazar's story over time, which has further fueled his doubts of his credibility. There's lack of evidence. He's had no verifiable evidence to support his claims about Element 115 or the existence of S4. Official records do not corroborate his employment at the alleged facilities or his educational background, like I just said. Mainstream scientists have criticized Lazar's descriptions of the technology and the physics involved, arguing that they do not align with known physics principles that we currently have. And the instability of Element 115, which he claims was a stable isotope used in the spacecraft's reactors, but as we talked about earlier, it had a half-life of milliseconds and it was not stable in the slightest. So those are some some discredits Lazar these days. He maintains a low profile. He occasionally steps back into the spotlight for interviews or other media
Like Joe Rogan.
appearances related to UFO claims.
I think
But,
he might be a hack.
Yeah.
there are some stuff that he does currently. He runs a company called the United Nuclear Scientific Equipment and Supplies, where he sells a variety of scientific equipment, including chemicals, radioactive ores, laboratory supplies. The company caters to science enthusiasts, educational institution, hobbyists. Which, like, if he's selling all, like, radioactive stuff, that may have, because he says, like, he claimed, well, he doesn't claim, but people claim that he got sick on intentionally when he was working at S4. But if he's working around these other chemicals and whatnot, he may have got exposed in that way, in my opinion.
Probably.
He occasionally participates in interviews and documentaries to discuss his experience and implications of his claims. One notable appearance was in the 2008 documentary Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers, directed by Jeremy Corbell. This documentary re-examines Lazar's story and includes new interviews, further fueling the public interest in his claims. But for the most part, he tends to avoid the limelight. Lazar has made a few appearances at conferences related to UFOs and extraterrestrial technology. These appearances are rare, but when he does appear, he draws a huge crowd.
Well, obviously, like, he's been doing this shit for a long time.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's all the stuff I got on Lazar. In my opinion, despite his controversies, Lazar's story has had a lasting impact on the UFO community and has brought out some more of the government secrecy. I'm like 50% believe what he says.
I
I'm kind of on the
definitely think like
fence.
he had an impact on it, but I don't believe much of it.
Yeah, I'm like at 50%. I'm on the fence really because
Probably like 30.
I hope he's telling the truth. Because if he is, that'd be dope. Especially if we eventually got full disclosure in the future, it'd be amazing. And like, I'm sure by the time
I
we
just want
do
full
have
disclosure just so we can prove a bunch of these fucking assholes wrong.
yeah, it'd be amazing. And even like the ones that are like they sound far fetched, but if they were actually true, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But Lazar will probably be long dead before he sees anything
Oh yeah.
of that
Probably.
sort. But for me, I'm like 50-50.
If he isn't
I
already
don't.
dead and been
We should
taken
get
over by a
Lazar.
lizard person.
I should try to get Lazar on the show.
Didn't we already try?
I was trying to get his email, but they said I had to reach out to his publicist, and I was like, man, I'm not trying to do all that. I tried asking ChatGPT for it, and they said
Like, no,
they
I
wouldn't
want to
let me
talk
get
to you
it.
man to man. I don't mean no middle
Well-
person. That already makes you a liar in my book.
I'm gonna probably hop off. I'm pretty tired. I gotta go take a shit, and I feel like we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we didn't hear what Joseph thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's kind of a phony. But I mean,
A phony.
You're
Big
a
fat
big
phony.
fat
hey, you're a phony. I mean, maybe not, but I don't know. It seems like
I really hope he's telling the truth, and I do like with the Element 115. I do like I feel him for that, like because even if he was, I don't know, like I feel like that's more government cover up because he may have worked for some secret government stuff, and I don't put it above our government to hide shit from the public and lie
Oh,
about shit.
absolutely.
So maybe he did a small. Maybe he doesn't like the whole thing is not all a lie. Like maybe he just did
there's
work on that
partial truth
isotope or
to his,
something.
fib.
Maybe he
Yeah.
over exaggerated about it.
Yeah, but I believe him with the Element 115, especially after they just decided that they came out with it. So I mean, but they haven't been able to fully synthesize it. But what he said you had to inject it with a bunch of protons, and then in some spear device and it would become stable and be able to use. So maybe he was working on something like that, but I don't think that he was like if there were crafts, I don't think they would have put him inside the crafts.
Yeah, that's weird.
We defer on the 115. I don't believe in it, but I gotta
Yeah,
go. I gotta go use.
I don't.
So I'm gonna get going.
All right, we'll see you later, Mike.
I have a
Bye.
hard time believing that it would take us that long to figure out how to work it. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think that he may have saw the whole truth. Maybe he was just working on something, but I don't.
He did say on the
wild.
Joe Rogan thing that they put him in specific things and only let each person know like a part of the craft they were working on, but also it's probably less than that if he did. They were saying everybody there was like different. He said there was like different like things, like they would only get like partial things and only given information about the rest of it that like pertained to what they were doing. They weren't allowed to know anything about the specific thing they were working on, and that this guy's that he was working with other partners seemed to have like died or something. The way that they made it seem like some misfortunate accident or something.
Yeah, so I mean, there could be some truth in it, but for the whole, I don't.
Yeah, I was just saying if that was a thing, that maybe it was a lot less.
That's why I said I'm like 50% about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was.
That's why I was like,
he's like whatever
50.
they're working on. I don't even think that they told him he was working on any type of aircraft. It's like, hey, we figured this thing out. Figure out how it works. All right.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens in the future years, but I mean, as of now, like I'm 50-50, you know, like he could be lying, he could be telling the truth, because he did have a lot of financial gain off of everything that he's done, but also apparently he's had legal troubles too, so, or like financial trouble and legal troubles too, but who knows, he might have just trying to combat his financial problems with orchestrating something, but we'll just have to see what the future brings us and go from there.
Devastation.
Yeah. But we'll see all you guys next week, and hopefully maybe 2 weeks. We'll see.
We're trying.
Yeah, everyone's a little busy these days. This season's been a little short for us this year, but next year we'll pick it up full force and give you guys what you want. Yeah, so we'll see you guys next time.